Most cities grow by welcoming new generations. The Villages was built for one, creating a town where nearly everyone is over 55 and almost no one replaces them. Now, with its median age quietly rising past 73, even lifelong residents are noticing familiar faces disappearing and fewer newcomers ready to step in. If monoculture creates paradise, what happens when everyone ages at once and the replacements stop showing up? Life in the Villages runs on a kind of synchronized clock. With a median age of 73.6 years, nearly every neighbor, club leader, and volunteer sits within the same bracket of late retirement. This is a place where the block party, the pickleball match, and the HOA meeting are all staffed by people at the same stage of life, and that sameness shapes how the community operates, for better and for worse. Residents describe a sense of instant belonging, but also a subtle echo chamber where everyone's needs, worries, and ambitions tend to line up. One longtime resident recalls, "It's like living in a college town where everyone's a senior, except we're all seniors in a different sense." The design was intentional. By building for a single demographic, the Villages created a world where leisure, safety, and shared experience are the norm. But monoculture comes with hidden fragilities. In a typical town, younger generations cycle in to take on civic roles, coaching, mentoring, running events, and serving on committees. Here, the pool of volunteers is aging in parallel. As the earliest waves of residents move from active club leaders to needing more support themselves, there are fewer newcomers ready to step up. Clubs that once had waiting lists are now searching for organizers. The same pattern appears in neighborhood watch teams, charity drives, and local boards. The retirement echo chamber that once made things simple now leaves gaps as everyone moves through the same transitions at the same time. The result is a system where continuity depends on residents who, year by year, find it harder to carry the load. In a city built for one generation, the question is no longer just who will join the next club, but who will keep the lights on when everyone ages together. The surge that built the Villages was powered almost entirely by one generation. From 2010 to 2023, the population more than doubled, with baby boomers arriving in waves, drawn by the promise of a purpose-built retirement city. But every demographic wave crests. Demographers point to a simple, stubborn fact. Generation X, the next group in line, is smaller than the boomers by nearly 10% to 15%. Nationally, there are 65 million people in Generation X compared to 73 million boomers at their peak. That gap alone means fewer people entering retirement age over the next decade. Financial differences run just as deep. Generation X households, now entering their late 50s and early 60s, carry more debt and have less median wealth than boomers did at the same age. Federal Reserve surveys show higher balances on mortgages, student loans, and credit cards. Many in Generation X are still paying for children's college or helping aging parents, while home prices and healthcare costs have climbed sharply. The next big cohort, Millennials, remains decades away from retirement and is even less likely to follow the same path, often preferring urban or mixed-age communities. For the Villages, this is not just a question of who moves in next. It is a structural hinge. If the pool of ready qualified buyers shrinks, the entire ecosystem, from home sales to service funding, feels the strain. Demographers describe it as a demographic bottleneck. A place built for one of the largest, wealthiest generations in history now faces a future where the line behind them is thinner and more financially stretched. The question for the Villages is whether the next generation can or will replace the last at the same scale. Every morning before sunrise, a line of cars snakes into the Villages from the surrounding towns, Wildwood, Leesburg, Ocala. These are the teachers, nurses, landscapers, and restaurant staff who keep the community running. The median home here is now valued at about $399,920, a figure that puts ownership far beyond reach for most of the people clocking in for shifts. For a local teacher or nurse earning $40,000 to $60,000 a year, even renting inside the Villages is out of the question. Rents in the worker towns nearby often top $1,500 a month, swallowing a third or more of take-home pay. A teacher describes her daily routine, a 45-minute drive each way, passing gated neighborhoods she cannot afford to enter except for work. A labor economist points out that as gas prices and rents climb, the effective wage for these essential jobs keeps shrinking. The result is a hidden fragility. When the commute gets too long or the paycheck too thin,